There is something every single car has in common, no matter if you drive a beat-up sedan from 15 years ago or a brand new SUV you picked up last spring. Something that gets dirty without you even noticing, something that collects grime, bacteria, and residue from every drink you have ever placed inside it. Something that sits right in front of you every single time you get behind the wheel, and yet somehow almost nobody ever cleans it properly. The CUP holder. That dark, sticky cavity that most people ignore until the smell becomes impossible to overlook, or until something gets so hardened and crusted to the bottom that no cotton swab in the world is ever going to fix it. And here is the part that genuinely frustrates people once they figure it out. When you finally do decide to tackle the problem, you grab a cloth, maybe a spray bottle with some all-purpose cleaner, maybe you spend 20 minutes going at it with a toothbrush, and 2 days later, it looks exactly the same as before you started. Same darkness, same stickiness, same smell. Today, I'm going to explain exactly why that keeps happening, what is actually living inside that grime you cannot see, and how a single effervescent tablet that costs less than $1 is going to solve this problem permanently. A fix that professional detailers and auto shops would genuinely prefer you never discovered, because the day you do, you stop needing them for this particular job. Let us start with what nobody actually tells you. The problem with cup holders is not just aesthetic. This is not about your car looking messy or giving bad impressions when a passenger climbs in beside you, although that does matter. This is about bacteria. A study conducted by researchers at Aston University in the United Kingdom swabbed multiple surfaces inside real passenger vehicles and found that the cup holder ranked among the most bacterially contaminated areas in the entire car. It scored higher than the steering wheel, higher than the gear shift, higher than the door handles that every person who enters the car touches with their bare hands. That small cylindrical hole you barely think about is one of the genuinely dirtiest surfaces in your vehicle. And the reason is not complicated once you understand it. It comes down to 3 conditions that combine to create a near-perfect environment for microbial growth. Constant moisture from spilled sodas, coffees, and juices. Fluctuating temperatures between cold drinks and warm interior air that accelerate bacterial multiplication, and a shape that makes it virtually impossible to fully and consistently clean the bottom using any conventional household tool. Think about what that actually means every single day. Every time you pick up your cup or water bottle with your hand and then grip the steering wheel, you are doing exactly what microbiologists call cross-contamination transfer. It is the same basic principle that makes your phone screen dirtier than a bathroom doorknob. And yet, how many times have you wiped down your phone this month compared to how many times you have deep cleaned your cup holder? Be honest with yourself. For the overwhelming majority of drivers, the cup holder either never gets properly cleaned at all, or it gets a brief wipe that barely skims the surface and completely misses the bottom section where the real problem lives. That is not laziness. Most people simply assume the problem is too physically awkward to solve with what they already have at home, so they keep putting it off until one day they notice a dark, permanent-looking ring baked into the plastic that no amount of surface cleaning seems capable of touching. The second major issue is what happens to sugary residue as it accumulates over weeks and months. Every soda, every iced latte, every energy drink leaves behind a thin, tacky layer that gradually hardens into something that behaves almost like a lacquer coating. And that hardened layer does not just look unpleasant. It functions as a magnet for dust, pet hair, crumbs, and every particle of debris that enters the car. When you attack it with a damp cloth, you are, at best, spreading that buildup toward the outer edges without actually removing any of it. If you add a standard interior spray cleaner to the mix, the result is essentially the same. You reach the visible top of the surface, but the concentrated residue sitting compressed at the very bottom of that cylindrical cavity stays exactly where it is, untouched. This is not a failure of how hard you are trying. It is a structural problem that requires a completely different kind of solution. This is where the effervescent tablet changes everything. And before you write this off as another social media trick with no real substance behind it, let me walk you through the exact chemistry that makes it work. Effervescent tablets, whether those are denture cleaning tablets, thermos cleaning tablets, or simple vitamin C tablets without artificial coloring, all operate through the same basic reaction between sodium bicarbonate and citric acid. When those two compounds come into contact with water, they produce carbon dioxide gas, which is responsible for the bubbling you see. Those bubbles are doing serious work that is invisible to most people watching it happen. Each one acts as a tiny mechanical agent that physically lifts and separates residue from whatever surface it comes into contact with. Simultaneously, the reaction creates a mildly alkaline chemical environment that actively breaks down sugary and greasy deposits that plain water alone simply cannot dissolve. You are getting mechanical cleaning action and chemical cleaning action happening at exactly the same time inside a space that is almost completely unreachable with any conventional cleaning tool you own. The reason this is uniquely suited to cup holders is that the liquid distributes the entire reaction into every corner and crevice of the cavity at once, including the very bottom and the ridges along the sides where the worst buildup consistently concentrates. No brush or cloth can guarantee that kind of total coverage. The water reaches everywhere. The bubbles activate on every surface simultaneously, and when you empty the cup holder, everything that was bonded to those walls comes out with the water. The method itself is almost absurdly simple once you know it. Start by sealing the base of the cup holder so the water you pour in stays put. A small piece of plastic wrap pressed down into the bottom works well. A wine cork trimmed to fit works even better. If your cup holder has a drain hole at the bottom, a strip of masking tape applied from underneath handles it without any trouble. Then fill the cup holder with warm water, not cold and not boiling, just comfortably warm. Drop in the effervescent tablet and leave it alone for 5 full minutes without touching it. During those 5 minutes, you will see the water change color, shifting toward brown or murky yellow. That is not the tablet discoloring the water. That is the bacteria and residue releasing from the walls and entering the solution where you can finally see how much was actually there. After 5 minutes, you empty it out, dry the interior with a clean cloth, and what remains is a cup holder that is genuinely and completely clean all the way to the bottom, free of bacteria, free of sticky residue, and free of the stale odor that builds steadily over months of daily use. Here is the part that professional detailing shops will never voluntarily share with you. A standard interior detail at most American shops runs between $80 and $200, depending on the shop and the vehicle size. Part of what justifies that price tag is this exact type of thorough cleaning in tight, awkward, hard-to-access spots. The CUP holders, the center console gaps, the trim crevices. These areas look complicated and labor-intensive from the outside, but with the right method, they take a few minutes each. One tablet accomplishes in 5 minutes what gets bundled into a service that costs you $100 minimum. That is information the industry simply has no financial incentive to put in front of you, so they never do. There is one additional step that relatively few people know about, and it is why some car owners find that results last for months while others are back to square one within 2 weeks. After the cup holder is completely clean and fully dry, apply a thin, even coat of odorless mineral oil or liquid paraffin wax to the interior walls. A cotton swab gives you the right amount of control to coat the curved surfaces evenly without overdoing it. What this layer does is create a low-friction barrier that prevents future liquid residue from bonding directly to the plastic surface. Instead of sticking and accumulating again, spills bead on the treated surface and collect loosely at the bottom, where you can remove them with a single quick wipe before they have any chance to harden. Drivers who add this step consistently find that their cup holders remain clean and easy to maintain for 3 to 6 months before another full treatment is necessary. That is a fundamentally different reality compared to the weekly frustration most car owners are living with and have simply accepted as normal. The method works across essentially all cup holder materials. Hard plastic benefits the most since it tends to hold the heaviest crystallized buildup. Rubber-lined or textured soft material cup holders respond just as effectively, though for those surfaces, you should choose a tablet without strong bleaching agents to avoid any risk of discoloration. Plain vitamin C effervescent tablets without added dye or dedicated thermos cleaning tablets are the right choice for anything softer than hard plastic and remain fully effective at eliminating residue and neutralizing odor at the source. One final point worth making clearly: the rear cup holders in family cars and SUVs are almost always in significantly worse condition than the front ones. If you have children, you already know exactly what ends up back there. Juice boxes, milk, watered-down sports drinks, containers of things that were never meant to be in a car in the first place. And because those rear spots are harder to reach, they get addressed even less frequently than the ones drivers use themselves. The method requires exactly the same minimal effort, regardless of location or how neglected the cup holder has become. Fill it, wait 5 minutes, empty it. The broader truth here is that the automotive cleaning industry is financially structured around making ordinary problems appear more specialized and difficult than they actually are. A cup holder is a cylinder that conventional flat tools cannot properly reach. An effervescent tablet turns the water itself into the cleaning agent and sends it everywhere at once. That alignment between the problem and the solution is exactly why it works when everything else has not. $1, 5 minutes. Keep a small pack of tablets in your glove compartment, and this becomes something you can fix anywhere, anytime, for almost nothing.